everyone, welcome to another live episode of Strong Style here on the Outlaw Nation Studios. I am the Outlaw John Rocha, and I'm joined as always by my man down there in Orlando, Aaron Turner. How are you, brother?
Rustic mountain man Aaron Turner here. Yeah, avoided some tornadoes last week, and here again for the Strong Style party, getting ready for a big SummerSlam weekend. We got SummerSlam on Sunday. We got NXT TakeOver on Saturday, AEW Dynamite on Saturday. It's a big weekend for wrestling.
God, there's so much going on. We're taking off out of town for a little bit this weekend to kind of see areas around San Diego, kind of kick around the idea of down the road, maybe making a little bit of a move down there. So we're just kicking it around right now. So I will miss probably some of the wrestling this weekend, but I will eventually catch up with it or to it when it's when we're back in country, so to speak, in LA, and catch up as much as possible. But yeah, it's definitely a great weekend of wrestling, and there's so much going on already. And so I hope you all are getting excited. I'm excited for my friend Aaron Turner here. Are you allowed to reveal that you'll be going officially to SummerSlam, or no? Is that not the right time?
It's not. I mean, it's not a secret. I guess we should go ahead and talk about it a little bit. So
yeah.
WWE unveiled this week the Thunderdome, which is
Thunderdome.
I like that better.
Thank
is
you.
Their virtual experience, the state of the art technology, all this kind of stuff. We've kind of seen it with, if you've been watching the NBA, we've kind of seen it with the virtual fans there, and I think it's been fantastic.
Yeah, I agree.
It's really added a different element to what could have been really boring. And so WWE's doing it. They did a test run yesterday with some NXT matches, and it looked pretty cool. If you've seen the opening for SmackDown on Fox, it looks just like that virtual opening,
right,
with all the fans. So it looks really, really awesome. But yeah, you can go to www.wwethunderdome.com, and every once in a while it'll pop up, and you can sign in to be on. SmackDown's already closed off. I didn't get into that one, but I got into the SummerSlam one today. So
nice.
Barring internet connectivity, I will be at SummerSlam virtually on Sunday. So you can see you can screenshot and see my face and send it to me. So
that's awesome. Yeah, do that, ladies and gentlemen. Do that. Yeah, that's exciting. That's also awesome. And they're making it possible for people to be there in some strange way. And it does work really well with the NBA playoffs. I've been watching. It's kind of fun to see different people popping up, or different people's faces popping up as they're watching it. So, and I saw some of the tweets that our friend Ryan Satin, posted as well. So I was like, this sounds cool. This looks actually pretty awesome. So yeah, should be fun to see. Maybe if someone catches a picture of Aaron Turner there and some close up, make sure you tweet it out to us and let us know that you caught him there. Remember, we got 26-year-old watches live. Remember, we need those likes, so swing that cursor or that mouse over there, hit that thumbs up button. But also, the Streamlabs and the SuperChats are open. Support the show. All the shows I do, they live and breathe on whether they get supported by you all as the fans in the Streamlabs and the SuperChats and the Streamlabs. So please send your questions in as we do the show here. It's going to be about a 50-minute show. As some of you may know, I've got a match tonight. So, but I didn't want to not do the show. Last time I didn't do the show, and I felt like it kind of threw off my preparation, kind of keeping me way too focused in the match. So I just want to relax, have a good time tonight, see if we win or lose. But I know doing the show is helping me just kind of keep my head, in a bunch of different places and keep me level. So so let's get into it. So please send those things in as you go along. And thanks to everybody who's watching us right now. Aaron, what's our first thing we're getting into today, news-wise?
Some very scary news that came across this week regarding Sonya DeVille, aka real name Daria Baronato. This comes from the Tampa Bay Times. It looks like that an overzealous fan, to say the least, was arrested on a kidnapping charge outside of her home in Lutz, Florida, which is very scary because it's where my sister lives. So,
wow.
Yeah, she lives in Lutz, Florida. So, I know the area quite well. It looks like this guy is a worker at Applebee's. I mean, it's whatever. It was in the thing. I'm just saying.
Okay.
He was charged with aggravated stalking, armed burglary of a dwelling, attempted armed kidnapping, and criminal mischief.
Yeah.
And he was being held without bail. It later came out that Mandy Rose was also there, present at the time. And I was actually reading before we came on air. She had her deposition today.
Oh, wow.
And she was saying that she had gone to sleep in her bedroom. Mandy Rose was in a guest bedroom, and then the alarm went off, and she came downstairs and saw him standing in her. From what I read, he had cut a hole into her screened-in porch and stood there for about 4 hours.
Wow!
And then waited on her to go to sleep or whatever, and then came into the home and she ran into him, asked, "What are you doing?" And then when she realized, kind of came across what in the world is going on, she grabbed Mandy, and they both got out of there and drove away. And I also was in the deposition was saying that she couldn't get the car started because she was so panicked and freaked out. She wasn't. Of course, she didn't press on the brake as you do with most cars, turn the key and start it. Yeah. She was pressing on the accelerator, so she couldn't get the car started. But finally, they did get out of there. Called the police, and the police came, and the guy was still there. Yeah. So they got him, and then she eventually came back to the home with Mandy Rose, and they were able to identify him. So scary stuff going on in the pro wrestling world right now. Yeah, I mean that's so nutty, because you get the idea of like, well, and from what you they issued those tweets, or his tweets rather, they released those tweets or whatever he had said, and he's like, "I'm standing outside your door, I'm gonna kill you, blah blah, I'm gonna kill the thing inside of you." It's pretty unsettling stuff that you heard, and apparently this guy's been stalking her for 8 months, had zip ties, had like, I think some kind of formaldehyde or something to knock her out, and had mace. Yeah. So he certainly was prepared in some way for this situation. However, it's weird to me that you would sit for 8 months and case a place out and not understand that there's an alarm on the house. So that's a weird kind of thing. Clearly this guy is completely an unstable person, and I'm glad he's being held without bail. So clearly he can't afford a legal defense, because some other people are getting out on bail, no problem, who are doing some terrible things in the world, but clearly he's got no ability to pay any kind of bail. So they put him away for a bit for now, and then there'll be the trial or what have you that goes down. So it's just scary. And the thing is, Sonya DeVille really kind of struggled to establish herself in the WWE in the last few years, certainly being an out and proud, a gay wrestler. That's not easy to do, no matter what year it is in this country, especially in the WWE, where you have a lot of kind of people who don't like that kind of thing, at least in the fandom, right? I'm not saying necessarily the wrestlers. Yeah. So she struggled enough. So this idea of having someone like break into your house, a place that you've built a sanctuary to feel safe in, and then threaten not only you, but possibly one of your best friends as well. Certainly there must have been so much panic and anger and frustration rather, and just like, I don't know, just anxiety running through her the whole time. So it's an unfortunate situation to put someone like her through it. Crazy, just crazy. So yeah. Yeah. I mean, the guy, from what I was reading earlier, also threatened her niece, saying that he would, and I'm just reading I'm just saying what I read here, folks. So it's not for me. Saying that he would force her to perform acts on him while she watched, and different if she didn't do what he asked, and wanted her to be his girlfriend, and said that he would cut Mandy Rose's head off, just different. I mean, obviously this person's got issues beyond what any of us can, determine. So I'm glad that they both got out of there. I'm glad they're both safe. This isn't the first time something like this has happened, unfortunately. Outside of the Performance Center a few years ago, we had a crazed fan try to break in to meet Lita, who wasn't even there. So I'm not sure how that was going to work. But yeah, I mean, guys, just check your fandom at the door. Don't do this kind of stuff. For the love of God, don't do this kind of stuff. Obviously, this is a very deranged, mentally unstable person, I would say. I don't even like going up to celebrities or wrestlers when they're in public. It's awkward. It's a very awkward turtle. And I would recommend not doing it because they're people. Yeah. And just leave them alone. I was recently, in the past couple of months, I saw Ty Dillinger and his wife, Peyton Royce, at a restaurant at a Cheesecake Factory. Just saw that they were there, didn't even say anything about it, just hey, whatever. But just kind of check your fandom at the door. But I am glad they are okay. Yeah, I mean, this is beyond fandom though, Aaron, isn't it? I mean, this isn't like a regular fan who just kind of had this desire to see her. Someone who's casing it for 8 months, so this is beyond any kind of fandom. This is someone who's completely unstable, and for whatever reason saw Sonya and felt a desire from I don't know, from a mental, clearly an unstable. I can't keep using the word unstable, but clearly there was some chemical issues going on with this man's brain to think that this is something that seems correct to do. And so those are those things that I hope they kind of put this guy away for quite some time, so he can't hurt her. And maybe in a John Hinckley situation, you just keep him in there for the rest of his life, and you watch over him and make sure he doesn't do any damage to anybody else, or if he gets, so he doesn't get out there to do damage to anybody else either. So yeah.
kind of crazy, man. I mean, full on crazy, not kind of. Yeah.
It kind of reminded me. Did you ever see that movie that came out a couple of years ago with John Travolta, where he was like Devin Sawa was biggest fan? Like, it was a terrible, terrible movie. Like, I think it was called The Fanatic or something.
Okay.
It's really awful, but it kind of reminded me of this same kind of scenario. Like, you become obsessed with somebody and you try to, you want a piece of them. They don't want any part of you. So it's like,
right.
So.
Oh, good point. Yeah. Directed by the great Fred Durst from,
exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, check that out. One of the worst movies you'll ever see.
Manny Gonzalez wants to know if that's Andre the Giant's hand on my shirt. No, it isn't. It was a design by one of the fans for the five horsemen. So we just put it that way there. So it's pretty cool. They took my hand and then just made a whole design out of it. So it's very nice of them to do that.
I was thinking $5 foot long, but I didn't.
Well, I did have a foot long. It was damn good. I think the biggest question is, what was Mandy Rose doing with Sonya? They're supposed to have hair versus hair match on Sunday. Damn it, it was still real to me. Fair enough, Matt Martiranta. Fair enough.
They're friends, I promise. That's great. I kind of do want to mention as well. This is this is a very somber note, but our friend Brian Ward lost his father today, and I just want to put that out there that you and I have both been through that, and it's not the easiest thing. It's probably the hardest battle I've ever tried to fight. So I know that Brian's going through a lot right now. So I just wanted to let Brian know, if he by chance was catching this, that we are thinking about him. So stay strong out there, man.
Absolutely. Much love to you, Brian. And you did such a great job with these designs for the show,
for sure.
For the videos you do for the show, all the stuff you do for the Outlaw Nation. That aside, all the stuff you've done for the Schmodown, push that aside. Just as a human being, Brian, it breaks our hearts that you have to go through this, and it's an unfortunate rite of passage for so many people in our world, because that's just kind of the rite of passage. You will lose your father at some point. Unfortunately, it's something like COVID is just something that could have been avoided, and that's the shame of it all. If people have been more careful around him, maybe he wouldn't have caught this and unfortunately passed away. So those things that you are, it breaks your heart even more. So we do send our condolences and our thoughts of comfort out and love to his family and to Brian as well. And I said on SEN Live this morning, anything he needs, he should know the community is there for him no matter what he needs. So we're there to. So hopefully, if you know Brian, or if you follow him on social media, send him a message. He's been very appreciative of the people sending him messages and love over the last day or so. So there we go. Yeah. All right, let's move on from that, Aaron. What do we have next?
Well, we have another bit of sad news, but not in the same way as the Sonya DeVille story. It came out yesterday. This is big news that Renee Young will be leaving WWE when her contract expires. Yeah. Now, I know we've probably got some strong feelings about this, because I think we're both big fans of Renee Young and what she does. She used to work for TSN in Toronto, which is like the Sports Center or the ESPN of Canada. Yeah, she's well liked within the company, but I think over the past couple months, her getting COVID-19, her shows getting canceled without her notice, her getting pulled off of the Raw commentary team, you got to think that some of this stuff probably took its toll. Yeah. And her husband no longer working for the company, of course, Jon Moxley, the AEW World Heavyweight Champion. So you kind of got to think maybe she just wants to do other stuff as well. Yeah. Like, I saw a lot of people saying, oh, well, she's going to go to AEW. Maybe not. She's got a cookbook coming out. She likes doing that kind of stuff. So maybe, I'm sure ESPN or Fox or somebody has reached out to her, because she is so good at what she does. It wouldn't surprise me if she just wanted to try another avenue. Yeah.
Last I checked, Tom Brenneman is being suspended. So it seems like there's a slot open there for her to slide in and maybe call some NFL games or call some baseball games. I mean, she was a sports personality there in Canada before she took the WWE job. And so she certainly has a lot of experience covering that kind of stuff. And why wouldn't she be a perfect fit for Fox or for ESPN to step in and do some games, call some games, see how she does? I mean, Doris Burke does a great job. I love how she handles calling the games. And so there are I've heard plenty of women over the last 20 years who can call games just fine. You just got to get that opportunity. So Renee Young would be great. I thought she was wasted on the Raw commentary because she is a host. She's not the color person. She's a host. They should have had her leading and kicked off Michael Cole, had her leading the Raw commentary. I agree with you. The COVID-19 situation, she couldn't have been happy with some of the regulations, being forced to come to work, being exposed to that kind of thing because of the negligence of people, of some of the things they set up, because Vince was too stubborn to stop doing stuff for a little while and let people recover or not get it. And so, that couldn't have left a good taste in her mouth. And as you said, taking her off of those shows without the warning. And also, I'm sure going home to someone like Moxley, who's not necessarily quiet about his opinion and constantly telling her, babe, you got to get out of there. Babe, you got to get out of there. Babe, it's not for you. Possibly, I'm not saying I heard any conversation between them, but that's a possibility too. You know, we all kind of give our 2 cents when we're in a relationship, when we see our significant other in a bad situation, you know, and so maybe that was something that Moxley felt. But also, WWE seems to be veering towards the younger approach here, Aaron, as well. Maybe she figures, look, I don't think I can do the stuff they're asking me to do. You know, that whole, I got Fox money. That was just like, no, that is not Renee Young. Renee Young's a professional, very solid professional. Put her in a position where she can shine. And the WWE, I think she's outgrown the WWE, in my opinion. And it's time for her to move on to bigger platforms to show what she can do.
No doubt about it. Star Drew, thank you for correcting me. He said it was the Score, not TSN, that she was on. So sorry about that. Thank you for correcting me. But yeah, I think that she would be good. A lot of people, I saw some people saying that she should be on ESPN or Fox. She'd be good in the NHL because apparently that guy the hockey guy got kicked out.
Oh, Mike Milbury,
yeah, that was bad.
I've been waiting for that for 5 years, man.
Tom Brenneman was really awful. I live in a household right now of Reds fans, so that was really bad. So yeah, I mean, she can do whatever she wants, in my opinion. Like she's good at everything. You know, it's kind of funny that they're bringing back Talking Smack, which was her show, and it's not going to have her on it. So it'll be Caleb Braxton and Xavier Woods instead of Renee Young and Daniel Bryan.
Right.
So
once again, going younger.
Going younger. You're right. And Charlie Caruso as well. You know, she's been doing a lot more with the WWE. So she's on both WWE and ESPN. So I could see Renee doing something like that. Maybe even being, you know, on Fox or just anywhere you can fit her in. AEW maybe eventually, but they also don't need her, and I don't think she needs them.
It's step down. I'm nothing against AEW. It's a step down. She doesn't need it. She's been at the top, so there's no need to take a step down. She should step forward, and hopefully she has good agents and good management team that's going to get her these opportunities to further her career. Any network would be a fool not to consider hiring her. Honestly.
Yeah, I mean, they have Dasha there. They have Jen Decker there that does pretty much all the kind of stuff that Renee would do anyway. I mean, why? I never went my mouse, but why tip the boat if you don't have to? Just because she's the world champion's wife, I don't think she would want that, and I don't think that it's needed.
Yeah, agreed. All right. Charles Caruso is on ESPN with a real name. Anholt. Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, she shows up from time to time. Yeah.
All right, fair enough. What a crazy world. What a crazy. Yeah, she would be great on Get Up on ESPN. Yeah, she'd be great as one of those people coming in, either hosting one of those shows or being a talking head on one of those shows. I think she'd be perfect for something like that. Or maybe even have her create some show from scratch. For sure. You know, that's hers. You know, that could be possible too. So
I would like to see her do whatever. If Michelle Beadle is still at ESPN, I'm not sure. Whatever she does, get rid of Michelle Beadle and put Renee Young and everything that Michelle Beadle used to do, because I don't like Michelle Beadle. I would prefer Renee Young to do all those things.
Yeah, I think Michelle Beadle was a good pioneer or a trailblazer for the things that she was doing, and then eventually I think the audience's tastes changed, and she didn't change with the tastes, so to speak, and people wanted better, more knowledgeable people to step in those positions as a woman, and I don't think Beadle necessarily was the right choice after a while, you know. So I hear you absolutely. She could totally do whatever Beadle does and take it to the next level. All right, what's next, man?
All right, well, another bit of big news here. AEW will begin to hold ticketed events next week.
Wow.
With 10% to 15% capacity in Jacksonville at Daly's Place. That will be, of course, this week, August 27th. Group pods of 2, 4, or 6 people will have tickets made available. The August 27th show, which will be this week, will have 10% capacity. Then after that, if it goes well, I'm sure that's what they mean, it'll be 15%. Tickets will be $30, $30 and up. You must wear a face covering at all times, and there will be social distancing between pod groups.
Yeah.
So that's big, man. That's huge. Like Daly's Place, it's an offshoot of the Jacksonville Jaguars facility. It holds 5,500 people. Yeah. So if you're letting 10% in, you're letting in 550 people.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
That is a lot of people. Yeah.
That's almost double what Full Sail holds in that studio. So for NXT, it's almost double that. So it's going to be an interesting look for sure. And I want to know what it's going to sound like. I'm very interested in this. Like we talked about it a couple weeks ago with the the dry run that people were saying they made with the face masks and stuff. So what do you think about AEW bringing in fans to the arena?
Well, I think it's the natural progression of things, right? They were already experimenting with expanding the number of fans they were going to bring into their programming, and they'd done a really good job with the COVID situation. They jumped on it quick. They social distance. They had people in masks. They didn't play the politics game with it. They knew what was best, and then they adhered to it, And no surprise, Cody Rhodes is one of those people that constantly talks about the fact that he felt like sometimes in the bigger companies, they don't really care about the health of the wrestlers, or they see them as numbers. And he didn't want to. One of the reasons he started AEW was that wrestlers could feel like they are getting taken care of by one of their own. And so no surprise that they jumped on it quickly. This idea here, though, of expanding, they're trying it out, and we'll see what happens. And can they track it to make sure people aren't catching this thing and passing it on? Can they make sure? So it's just a natural progression of things. They're going to slowly try this out. If the 550 works and there are no cases, I guarantee you we'll see 1,000. We'll see 2,000 coming down, depending on the size of the arena. I think that's certainly possible. And so the thing is, though, how much are they recouping money-wise to offset what they're spending to keep doing the shows? That's what I wonder about, and I'd like to see something some article about that come out soon.
I wonder if you could get 2,000, because it's just one place. I wonder if you could get 2,000 people to come to Jacksonville for a Dynamite taping. I think that would be pretty difficult. You can get 300 people at Full Sail and have some people left over. That's not a problem. But to get people to come on a Wednesday afternoon when you got work the next day for some, and you got school or whatever the next day, that's kind of difficult. So it's going to be interesting to me if they sell out all 550 tickets. That would be interesting to watch. I am going to try to go to one in the future. I didn't go to the one this week because I got plans, but I want to see how it works out. My question, and someone asked it in the chat, is it too soon for fans to come back? Is this, I don't know, man. I don't know. As long as you're taking the precautions, it's fine, I would think. Yeah. But the thing that's, I say that, and I'm such a hypocrite because I say that, and then, the theaters around here, movie theaters announced around here that they're going to start reopening, some today, some next week. And I'm like, I don't want to be anywhere near that. So it's kind of like a catch-22. Plus, I've only been out to eat twice since the COVID outbreak. So I'm a hypocrite when it comes to that stuff. So it's just, I don't know, man. I don't know. Would you go? I mean, we both said we would go. Yeah. But do you think it's too soon for 550 people to be in an amphitheater together?
Well, how big is the amphitheater?
I mean, it seats 5,500 people. So it's
then I think that's fine because you can space it out to where people have multiple seats in between them. So if you put the the tape around the seats that people can't sit in and only sell the seats seat numbers that are designated for, then I think it's absolutely possible. And you have to be aware to separate from row to row where they can cheer and what they can see and all of that. So as long as you're taking the precautions and testing, I don't think they're just going to open the thing and 550 people get in, sit wherever you want. I think it's going to be very clear where people can sit, how much space they can have, and it's going to be up to you if you feel comfortable when you walk in to what's happening, because people are going to be yelling, people are going to be cheering. So there will be spit in the air. There will be liquid in the air, body fluid in the air. So it's like that kind of thing. It'll depend on you. Are you going to cheer the whole time wearing your mask? Are they going to be stringent about you wearing a mask? That's another thing too. So I hope they will be. And then that way I think people will feel comfortable and fine. Because people do want to come and see this, Aaron. I think people do want to risk it. I don't know how many people I saw on my Twitter telling me that they're going to see New Mutants next weekend or this week. Is it this weekend or next week? Yeah, next weekend. They already got their tickets to go see New Mutants. Wow. We are considering driving up to Vegas. The Geek Buddies and I driving up to Vegas as a road trip and maybe getting tickets to go see New Mutants there and Tenet the next day. We'll see. It's something we're considering, just to see what that experience would be like and see if we don't, if it can be done safely. I know if we walk into a theater and it looks like a shit show, we're walking right out, or at least I am. Yeah. I'm not sticking around and I'm getting my money back. But that's what we were curious to see how theaters were handling. I don't know if Vegas is the right place to necessarily do that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it kind of threw me, but yeah.
We're considering it because it's the closest city that's actually showing New Mutants to LA. So that's crazy that it's that far out. You know what I'm saying? So
the funny thing about the movie theaters, though, is like they were talking about it on the news. They said, well, if you're going to the theater, there'll be 2 seats empty on both sides of your party, and then there will be no one in the row in front of you or behind you. I'm like, that's a dream. Yeah. This sounds great. What a movie experience that is. That's what I'm talking about. So it'll be interesting, especially a lot of theaters around here have stadium seating. So they've taken out like your traditional, like, you know, fold them down seats, and they have those like leather recliners. They've got bigger seats now and less seats instead of, you know, just packing everybody in. So that'll be a little bit different to see that. But yeah, Tenet, for sure. Tenet, for sure. Yeah. Gotta see that. Gotta see my man Nolan.
Some people have already had screenings for them in other countries. So some of those foreign critics are already releasing reviews of the movie. So
and they probably say it sucks. Yeah.
No, they're all saying it's great. They're all saying it's great. Yeah.
Well, it's Christopher Nolan. What do you expect?
Exactly. All right, Aaron, what do we got next?
I mean, we could talk about a Mickie James story if you want for just a second. So I didn't put this on I had this on the rundown that took it off, but Mickie James came out this week and she was disappointed in her return to Raw. She had been gone for over a year, came back, had a match with Natalya. It was about 3 minutes long before it got interrupted by Seth Rollins. And she was on a podcast this week saying that, you know, it's not her ideal way to return. You know, she feels a little disrespected, that kind of thing. And I'm right there with her, brother. I think Mickie James has been there for a while. She's multi-time women's champion. And you're just going to put her in a 3-minute TV match with Natty where she gets counted out? Yeah. Kind of some bullshit.
Isn't this what always started? Isn't this what started the whole like supposed women's revolution? People doing that hashtag let women wrestle and whatever. And, you know, supposedly the WWE had to change their heart about it. And so no surprise, man. They're always trying to like, you know, squeeze the women wrestlers in these ways. And it's frustrating. And I agree. But I mean, but then again, it's Natty versus Mickie James, bro. 3 minutes for me is too long for that match. So I have no interest in neither one of those. And the characters they're playing with her and Lana, I have no interest in any of that crap. It's, you know, it's to me, someone pointed out to me, it was beautifully said, it's the beautiful people without the beautiful people. And I was like, yeah, it doesn't work without Velvet Sky, Angelique Love, and who was the other girl, the small
Madison Rayne.
Yeah, Madison Rayne. It doesn't work without the three of them. They were so good at it. And the Lacey Von Erich, was it Lacey Von Erich?
For a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, for a little bit. So, I mean, like that I love the beautiful movie there. What they're trying to do, no offense, but like, you know, Natty, come on. And it just feels like to me, it's like they're just trying to find something for her to do. And she's a lifer and God love her. And she trains the other wrestlers. And so, you know, she's certainly not someone that should be disrespected. But by the same token, who's clamoring for a Mickie James versus Natalya match? No one wants to see that, bro. I think. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just saying.
I'm clamoring for some Mickie James time because I know how good she is in the ring.
Okay.
And the way the way we've even talked about in the past few weeks about women's wrestling, especially with you know, AEW not putting women, showcasing them on their shows that are on TNT,
right?
And WWE having a limited run with they have Sasha Banks, Bayley, and Asuka, and that's it. Asuka has 2 title matches this weekend.
Yeah.
The women's tag titles are not being defended. And it's like, what in the world is going on? Mm-hmm. And all I can get is a 3-minute Mickie James count out match. Come on, son. Give me something else. Like, give me, you know, Zelina Vega versus Mickie James. Put Zelina in there because Zelina's been great. Why not put her in there? I know she's doing something with Bianca Belair, but you got to be able to get these women some TV time, or otherwise they're going to go somewhere else. And I know Mickie James was excellent when she was in earlier WWE and when she went to Impact.
Sure.
Maybe she should go back there because they're doing a great job with their women.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I just feel like if you're gonna put Mickie James back after 1 year, you're gonna make this big deal about it. You're gonna blow up Twitter about it. Mickie James coming back after 1 year off, and you put her in a 3-minute match. It's horseshit, dude.
I think you're absolutely right there. I think you're absolutely right. You set up expectations, you set up a whole push for her, and then she shows up and it's a 3-minute match. You're like, well, what's the point of that? And it isn't because she was injured. It isn't because they were trying to protect her. They just wanted to push another storyline. So, and that's not good. But dude, this is the job, though, isn't it, bro? You stick around long enough, and if you can't keep pulling them in, and you can't keep getting that attention or pushing that merch, you're the one that they think of as expendable, and they can use you and plug you in for a 3-minute thing and push you right on out. They wouldn't do this to Rollins. They wouldn't do this to Sasha or to Bayley. It's just the way. That's how you're treated in these situations. Tells you how management and the owners really see your worth to the company, and it should be a very strong wake-up call for Mickie James about whether she should stay or not. Because if they're going to use her properly and in a way that she feels comfortable, she should go.
Well, I know they tried her out on commentary on Main Event, and it didn't really work out. I don't believe she was that good. No offense to her, but it's just sometimes that works out, sometimes it doesn't. But yeah, put her back in the ring where she belongs. If you're not going to use her, you know, like you said, let her go.
Yeah, let her go.
Let her go do what her wants.
We got a Streamlab that came in here, Aaron. It's from Hill Nellums. Good to see him again.
Yes.
He said, good luck tonight to the Founding Fathers and thoughts and condolences to Brian Ward. Absolutely. Random question. In recent or past memory, has any wrestler taken a beating from another wrestler in order to hide an upcoming heel turn? Think that would be clever. Interesting. I don't know if I've ever seen that. Have you?
Like a shoot beating, like an actual beating?
Oh, I don't
or
know.
Are we talking about like a fake beating, like a wrestling beating? I'm not sure.
I feel like it'd probably be a wrestling beating, not an actual beating.
This isn't recent, but I can think of Bret Hart when Bret Hart was with going up against Stone Cold Steve Austin, and there was just a night where Stone Cold Steve Austin just beat up Bret Hart up and down Monday Night Raw, up and down the arena, and they weren't, and Bret Hart wasn't a heel yet. So it's kind of like, what in the world is going on? Why is Stone Cold doing this? But people were cheering him. So I don't know.
Right. Hill says like wrestling beating. So.
Like wrestling beating. You know, Hill, nothing off the top of my head other than that Bret Hart thing, but it would be a cool idea to see that. To see someone just completely get their butt kicked and then come back and turn it heel. Yeah, that'd be great. Do it to Mickey James. turn her heel.
When Owen Hart became the I'm not a nugget guy, was that a thing? Was he beaten up to the point of that, and then he fought back because people were making fun of him, calling him a nugget? Is that part of it? No,
not really. No.
Okay. All right.
No. Sorry, Hill.
I can't say as I recall any time where that's ever happened.
It was a very good question, one that I was not prepared for, and I'm sorry I don't have a better answer.
He said, what I mean is in advance of joining each other. So like a heel beats a face up so badly that a face turns heel to join. This is like Roddy before joining UE is close.
That's not bad. That's not bad. But Roddy got the better of the Undisputed Era before he joined.
Right.
That's tough. That's really tough. I'd have to think about that one more.
Yeah. Me too.
Sorry, man.
Yeah, no worries. All right. Yeah, let's move on to what do we got next, my man?
We're on to the match of the week, man.
Yeah, match of the week.
The Rock versus Triple H for the Intercontinental Championship in a ladder match from SummerSlam 1998. Attitude Era in full swing. This all started because here comes two rival factions. You got the Nation of Domination. You got D-Generation X. Farouk just hit the bricks. And now The Rock is running the Nation of Domination. Right. And DX decides it would be a good idea to impersonate the Nation of Domination in blackface, which in retrospect is big yikes.
Yeah.
You know, would not fly today. I think we all know that. But at the time, hilarious. The Rock... The Rock would cost Triple H his European title after interfering in a match between Triple H and D'Lo. That led to actually a pretty good run there for D'Lo with the European title. He was a great European champion. Triple H and The Rock would face each other ahead of SummerSlam at Fully Loaded in a 2 out of 3 falls match where time would run out and the match would be declared a draw, setting up this rubber match right here with the ladder. And there were a couple Monday Night Raws where The Rock and Triple H would beat each other with ladders, which eventually gave them the idea of the ladder match. So here we are at the match itself, Madison Square Garden, SummerSlam 98. This was headlined by Stone Cold Steve Austin versus The Undertaker.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you, dude, great match here, right?
This is a fantastic match, man. I mean, one of the things that we will always rue about the Attitude Era is we never got The Rock versus Stone Cold versus Triple H fully healthy, all three of them in a three-way match that was classic for a belt. Like, it would have been incredible. So we get these different combinations of those three gentlemen, and every single time that it's for a belt or for a you know, some kind of grudge, it is an incredible match. And this match is no different. And it's weird to see DX's face here, you know, with the Rock pulling the stuff that he's pulling. China, you know, kind of slowly moving towards that place where she becomes a face herself. And I think it's before her surgery, if I'm correct. And
yeah, one of them.
Yeah, she's wearing lighter clothes, so she's not the old China with the all black, you know, destroying people, but still there to land some hammer blows with her elbows. Mark Henry comes out with The Rock, and you're right, this is the Nation of Domination time. The Rock's promo is hilarious with a young Michael Cole telling him he's going to slap the yellow off his teeth. Takes the mic from Michael Cole and says, and throws back to the guys, not Michael Cole throwing back to the guys. I thought that was nice. It's old school Rock though, man, and it's nice to see. He's still a little doughy, a little softer around the edges. You know, he's getting there to what he's going to be, but it's nice to see the young Rock and the young Triple H as well. You forget how physical Triple H could be, you know, coming in with the guys who were singing his theme song. I totally forgot that he carried them on his shoulder and then destroyed the drum kit in the middle of the ring. And it's almost like the MSG walkout, you know, where it's the gate's like right there, where you can see the ring and everything. So to me, this whole opening got me excited, and then the match started, and it's a great match. Fantastic back and forth. No time to get bored. No time to feel like, oh, they're just setting stuff up. It's just constantly moving. And Mark Henry and China, their interferences kind of work for what they're trying to lay out. And as close as all the close attempts to get the belt on a ladder, all of it really, really works. And they referenced the Shawn Michaels Razor Ramon match in this match, saying how every ladder match has to live up to that match still.
That's very true, and a lot of them don't. But
yeah, true.
Something else to keep in mind. This was Rock pre-gynecomastia surgery. So if you know what gynecomastia is, that is the clinical term for bitch tits.
Yeah.
The Rock had surgery to remove his upper chest tissue, which is why he wore those pants and that shirt for a long time. But anywho, that's just a little side note. This match. It's not Edge versus Jeff Hardy in a ladder match. This isn't like, some two dudes you would usually see in something like this. So it's like two 250 pounders throwing a ladder around. And it's not like those gimmicked WWE ladders you see today where they're all wooden or made of aluminum. These are like, I went to the Home Depot and I got 2 ladders. Like that's how this was. And so when they're hitting each other with the ladders, it's really hurting them, man. It's really hurting them bad. And you see at one point, one of the ladders breaks because Triple H goes for a pedigree on it and gets backdropped, which is a real turning point in the match. It almost breaks his arm, the way that he fell on it. So it's a good thing he didn't do that. But it is also worth noting that Triple H did have a slight knee injury coming into this match. They do reference it in kayfabe because The Rock was beating on his knee, but it is true.
Oh, he did have a knee injury.
He had a slight knee injury. Wow. Yes, we'll talk about more about that later.
Okay.
But yeah, Triple H goes for the pedigree, doesn't really work out, gets backdropped. And then The Rock throws, this is my favorite part of the entire match. When The Rock throws Triple H off the ladder, grabs him by the head, throws him off the ladder, Triple H bounces off the rope and then pushes The Rock off the ladder, which was so good, just the way that he did it. And The Rock, the way that he bumps is so good. Yeah. Just the way that he does stuff. He gets knocked out of the ring, and then Triple H does a slide does a slide right into the ladder, kicking the ladder to his face. Yeah. And actually hard weighing The Rock and making him bleed, get him right in the bridge of the nose. You can see The Rock bleed a little bit. The Rock doesn't do a lot of blade jobs. So I would say that wasn't I wouldn't say that's The Rock's forte, but yeah, that was a really cool moment. And then Mark Henry with the powder, throwing the powder in his face, circa 1994. Way to go there, Mark Henry. And then China gets involved. Just a lot of cool stuff happens in this match. It's definitely worth your time. It's about a 30-minute match. It's pretty long. It is for a pay-per-view. Yeah, I mean, I love the sequence where Triple H has his leg caught in between the between the ladder sides, and Rock is just stomping on that leg like crazy. Gets the chair and so it's whacking on the ladder. The stomping will do more damage than the lighter chair, but the effect is one of complete and utter, oh my God, just watching that happen. So, and it comes close, The Rock, there's a lot of near falls, near gets to the belt before Triple H finally gets it done. But I was so impressed at how much I could just sit back and relax and enjoy this 30-minute match between these guys and just like enjoy what we were watching. No doubt about it. Here's the weird thing for me. So at the end of the match, the ending sequence is they're both on the ladder. The Rock is facing Triple H. Triple H is facing China. Yeah. And China gets into the ring and low blows The Rock. He falls off the ladder. Why didn't Mark Henry do anything? It's not in the script.
It's not.
It's on the script. You haven't even been incapacitated. I was like, wait a minute. Watching it back,
did China knock him out? I thought China knocked him out with an elbow shot.
No, China didn't knock him out. Like he threw the powder in Triple H's face, and they did the slide gimmick. Yeah, and then she comes in and does a low blow, and I was like, "Where's Mark Henry?"
Yeah,
he just let that happen.
He's probably just like, "No, man, I'm not doing that. Man, I ain't hitting no woman, dog." He probably was like, "I ain't hitting no woman, dog."
But he'll make out with Mae Young. I mean, come on now.
Wait, how is that correlative? I don't know how that's correlative.
To be honest with you, I wouldn't mess with China either. Like they showed in that preview for hitting that DDT on The Rock. You see that?
Dude, that was a great DDT. Yeah, totally. And you're right about The Rock. No one bumps better than The Rock. And The Rock, he veers into that Shawn Michaels versus Hulk Hogan territory, but he doesn't do it for a joke. He doesn't do it as a passive-aggressive shade. He's doing it to sell and for whatever reason, he's really good at selling it, whether it's his look, whether it's his body motions or whatever. You never think that he's overselling it. I mean, he's one of these guys that has taken stunners and like shot up into the air and fallen down or flipped over and had his legs bounce off the corner of the rope and follow. And you don't think at any point that he's being way too much. And that's one of the gifts of The Rock. It's like Triple H. Triple H's long hair comes in handy all the time when he's taking those bumps. You know, seeing that long hair fly around, that long hair flip up, all of it. He uses it to perfection when he does the things that he does, when he takes the bumps, you know. And so it's always a joy. The two guys who really have a lot of respect for each other, Paul and Dwayne, they have a lot of respect for each other over the years. It's great to see them kind of like, you know, it's kind of funny, man. We're looking at in that match in 1998, 22 years later, bro. That is essentially the Aaron waiting of the WWE and a multimedia mogul having a fight in professional wrestling. It's kind of insane to think about when you're watching it, how well these two men navigated their separate careers to be at the pinnacle of what they've chosen to do. You know, it's just incredible, man.
And we almost got it again a few years ago at WrestleMania when they had Ronda Rousey and Kurt Angle. It was supposed to be The Rock, but they couldn't get him for some reason. I don't know if it was because of the injury or whatever, probably schedule. But yeah, I mean, we could have got it again. They did a great promo on SmackDown where The Rock and Triple H got face to face again. It was awesome. It felt like old times. These two had rivalries throughout the years, long after this match. And then it was for the biggest prize in the game. I should talk about the aftermath here before we get rolling with the next strong style slate. Triple H would hold the title for a few weeks after this matchup. He did have the real life knee injury that I was talking about before, and he was forced to vacate the Intercontinental title, which would later be won by Ken Shamrock in a tournament. Just a few months after this, so this is August. In November, The Rock would win the big title, the WWE Championship at Survivor Series '98. Defeating Mankind and aligning himself with the corporation and Vince McMahon. Right. And of course, that was a great moment. And if you notice in this match, a lot of Rocky chants in this match. The Rock is over in this match.
Both ways. That's what's surprising. I thought the Cena sucks, Cena go, let's go Cena chants. I thought that's when all that all started. If you listen to the chants in '98, they are saying Rocky sucks and then let's go Rock. So there's both sides happening there during this match. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's really cool to see. Go back and see that, guys. Definitely one of the best matches in SummerSlam history. But that will bring us to the next to last version. Next week, we have our watch along, which is SummerSlam 2005. The immortal Hulk Hogan goes up against the Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels in what will be, for sure, a controversial watch along, to say the least, for this program. I think we're really excited to do that and bring it to you next week. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if this implodes the show, to be honest with you. I don't know what's going to happen between us because Aaron knows how much I hate what Shawn Michaels did in that match, but we're going to have a discussion about it. And we tried to do a commentary for this match years ago. It didn't quite work out, so I'm excited that we're going back to do it and have a little fun with it for sure.
Yeah, no doubt about it. It's going to be awesome. But guess what, guys? Special edition. I don't know why I said that, but special thing coming up right here. Yeah. We're going to go ahead and unveil the next strong style slate for the month of September. It's going to be themed, and this month's theme or the next month's theme is war. Some of the best matches, some of the biggest wars you've ever seen in your entire life. And we're going to start it off with Scott Steiner, Big Papa Pump, versus Goldberg from Fall Brawl 2000. That's right. I sucked it up and I put Goldberg on the slate. And I know that Rocha is a big Papa Pump fan. Rocha. Everybody loves Scott Steiner, the big bad booty daddy himself. Actually, a pretty good match between these two behemoths from Fall Brawl 2000. I'm excited to talk about it. They go to war, and that's why it's on here. The next one I got is our watch along. It'll be our watch along for this one because we're going to start doing one a month of the watch alongs to see how that goes. Arn Anderson, Ric Flair, Lex Luger, and Sting versus the NWO, Hollywood Hulk Hogan, Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, and the fake Sting from Fall Brawl 1998.
No room for the fake Sting on this?
No room for the fake Sting on the thumbnail. Just one Sting will do it both ways. So, yeah, so that's going to be a big one. That'll be the watch on because I know Rocha's a big NWO fan, so I know that'll be on there. I'm a fan of everybody on the left and most of the people on the right. So,
there you go.
No doubt about it. And the next one we got is something you guys have been asking for a long time, and we're going to get to it. It's not Fall Brawl, but it is a war. Yeah. Kenny Omega versus Okada number 4.
I can't wait for this
one. 2018, one of the best matches of all time. That's right, the Rainmaker versus the Cleaner. It's going to be big time here on Strong Style, New Japan Pro Wrestling. We've been wanting to cover Kenny Omega for a long time, and now we've got one of his best matches with Okada, one of the best you'll ever see for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. They go to war, my friend.
Yeah.
And then to top it off, the last one, brother versus brother. This is probably the most recent match we've done on Strong Style from Double or Nothing 2019. That's right. The Rhodes family implodes as Cody goes up against his older brother, Dustin Rhodes, from AEW Double or Nothing 2019. It's a great match. It gets bloody. It's emotional. You know, it's just what you want to see out of two kids of a legend. And these guys absolutely no stone unturned. And I had to put it on the war slate for Strong Style. I'm excited for these matches, man. It's going to be sweet.
I always love the matches you pick, brother, man. You rarely pick them wrong. And so I'm excited for all these 4. And I'm very glad that Papa Pump gets a little bit of love in this whole thing because he rarely gets talked about when they talk about great matches. Rarely does he get talked about. So I'm excited for this. I'm excited to get into it with all these matches. And, you know, we have the watch along next week. And then after that, we step into all these matches in the month of September. So I can't wait to revisit some of these or watch some of these for the first time. Certainly the Kenny Omega one is one that I've heard about for many years. So I may watch that one once a week until we get to the week that we actually talk about it. Just kind of get it in my blood, you know? So there we go.
Man, and we got theme months are kind of going to be the thing, man. I thought war would be a good way to do it. I thought about doing all Fall Brawl, but then I was like, nah, we got to talk about some other wars. And I think this is a good way to do it.
Great choice, man. Absolutely. 1000%. All right. We should wrap it up there. So you're in good hands for the next few weeks for Strong Style. Absolutely. So get excited for that. Please tell people about the show. Tell your fellow wrestling fans to come aboard and hang out with us for an hour a week and watch the show live and give it some love for the love of God. Aaron, where can people find you, my man, and things that you got going on?
You can find me on Twitter at @OnlyAaronTurner. Find me there. We'll talk about wrestling figures, whatever wrestling you want to talk about. We'll talk about it.
And you can find me at The Rocha Says on Twitter and on Instagram. And please subscribe to the channel down below and hit that like button more than anything else. Please hit that like button, that thumbs up button, and leave a comment on the channel. The more comments you leave, the more likes you leave. It elevates in the algorithm of YouTube, elevates the show, elevates this channel, puts it in the suggestion side things when you're watching YouTube. And so maybe somebody will come aboard the Strong Style train or the Outlaw Nation train and enjoy the content we got going on over here. So, all right. Well, thanks, everybody. Don't forget, I got a match in about 2 hours or about an hour and a half. Come watch me take on the founding the corruption there. Dan Merle and I taking on corruption over there at the Schmodown Entertainment Network. It's $4.99 pay-per-view for 2 matches. You got Who's the Boss taking on Shazam for the #1 contender spot for the teams, and then us defending against corruption. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. $5 for you, or 10 if you're a $10 patron. It's all free for you to watch live tonight. So, all right, thanks everybody. We'll talk to you next time. Thank you, Aaron Turner, and we'll talk to you next time with another brand new episode of Strong Style.
Wear a mask. Enjoy the weekend.